Brothers Facebook Live, and I'm going to be unboxing a original William Fuld 1919 Ouija board. I actually won this on eBay, so we'll see if there's even actually a Ouija board in here. It was supposed to have came with the Planchette, the Planchette box, and also the original board box. It's pretty rare. Most of the time I only find the board. I don't normally get the board and Planchette together, let alone with the boxes. A lot of these things I find, you know, piece by piece, you know, so it's like you buy the box, you buy just the board, the Planchette, you know, piece by piece. Now, the seller did say that there is a little wear and tear, but we'll see exactly how bad it is. So this is the huge box that it came in, and it came from Canada, so it took quite a while. I think I won this eBay auction maybe almost 2 weeks ago. So just open it up here, and hopefully I get what I paid for. Now, what's cool about this board, as I struggle to get it open, is that it's a William Fuld board, and what that means, it's kind of local for me. I'm founder of Spirits Wake Paranormal Research, and also, that's me totally like throwing the box all over the place. Also, I am founder and host of a paranormal podcast called Coffee with the Dead. You can find all of that on Facebook, Twitter, you know, whatever. The podcast, though, we're on iTunes, and you can also catch me straight through the main website. You go to blogtalkradio.com and just look for Coffee with the Dead. Mostly interviews and stuff. But so I just collect Ouija boards, you know, and I always have, and it now just ties into the whole investigation group that I started. We've been going since like '98, but yeah, this box is very well taped, but it's okay. So I have right now about 16 Ouija boards, including this one. So this is, I think I might have said 14 other times, but whatever. Okay, first piece off, and okay, a little piece of cardboard fell out. But yeah, so this board in particular is really cool because it's a William Fuld board. And just before I take it out of the box, just want to talk a little bit about William Fuld. It's in Baltimore. Well, it was founded in Baltimore. The factory's no longer there, burned down in like the 20s or something maybe. And just okay. Getting notifications. Like I said, I don't know how this Facebook Live thing works, but yeah. So that being said, with the William Fuld factory, the Ouija boards having started in Baltimore, and here I am in Baltimore myself, Maryland, that is. There's a lot of packaging. That's good. Always a good sign. You know, it's cool that I was able to find an original board from, you know, my hometown, let alone the inventor, so to speak, of, what is in here? The inventor, so to speak, of, you know, of the Ouija board. Pre-Parker Brothers. So this is actually, sort of looks like your common Parker Brothers board with the, you know, you see the square corners and, you know, kind of like the board that you see at Walmart. But this one has rounded edges. It's actually on wood, unlike the ones that you get like from Walmart that are just on cardboard. So that is always a plus. Okay, so they just, congratulations, I got it from Sell It. And they want me to give them a 5-star rating. So we'll see, as long as everything is intact once I finally get this open. Can everybody hear me? I'm not sure because I know there's a lot of like paper crinkling and stuff. So if anyone can't hear me, just kind of make a comment and I'll do my best to turn the volume up. But we're almost through the layers and layers of stuff, of wrapping and everything. There's a lot of other different types of Ouija boards, or talking boards, you know. Not all of them are William Fuld. There's Kennard boards, there's, you know, people homemade, you know. Oh, cool. Thanks, Ricky. You said you can hear me. Thanks. People make their own boards now. I even at one point looked into a 3D printer to make my own, but that didn't happen. It was a little bit more technical than I was willing to invest the time in. So, almost through everything. Now this is my oldest board. Before getting this one, my oldest one was a 1972 Parker Brothers Ouija board. It had the rounded edges. It was, you know, it was the paper on top, you know, like glued down on top of the actual wood. It wasn't cardboard. So even in 1972, still not quite out of the using real wood for boards process. And that one I've got at an antique shop in Salem, Massachusetts. And it was something I called ahead about. I knew I was going. My mom helped me look. I was like teenager, whatever, 14, 13. And went and picked it up. Got the background story on that one. I'll have to show you, maybe I'll do another video about all of my boards. But there's like a nail through the eyepiece of the Planchette, which I thought was weird, but apparently that's not too weird. Turns out a lot of people do that so they can see exactly, you know, what letter the eyepiece is over. But that one was found in the barn, like the attic or whatever. Do barns have attics? I don't know. The like hayloft, you know? Yeah, the upstairs of the barn, in its box and everything like that. But this couple had passed away, and it's just what was found on their property. So, and that's my second oldest board before this one, and obviously probably not, you know, an original. This was from this board. I have the Planchette ready to open. It's just peeking in there. But before I open it, I just want to say this board is from 1919. So this is from the first 11 years that commercial styled Ouija boards were being made and sold to the public, not just being used for parlor games, or like, you know, not only used by those of the craft, so to speak, or whatever, actually like on store shelves. So William Fuld, 1908, I think, might have been the first actual run of this exact board that I'm going to open. So this is still, I just want to tell you guys, like, I'm really excited. This is the first run of this style board that I'm about to open. Like, this is a big deal as a collector and just as a fan of paranormal in general. This is about to be a big deal. So, you know, as I start to open it more. See the back of the planchette now, and they put there's a thumbtack actually in this one, as you can see right here. Thumbtack, and I think it's just plastic. Yeah, it's just plastic, and the plastic's pretty well scratched up, which is cool because I mean it's old. But before I flip this around, I just wanted to let you guys know, as I go through this and as I continue to, unwrap everything, feel free, drop comments, questions, and I will respond as long as I, see them. If I'm not getting too caught up with this awesome find of mine. So, the only other board that I'm looking for actually is the Danzig Ouija board. I'm really picky about the boards that I choose to collect. It's not just like, oh hey, there's a Ouija board, I want it, or like, oh, like this one's in like pristine condition, so I'm gonna get it even if I already have it. Like, no, I just get like whatever, I'm sort of drawn to at the time, I guess. But once I have a design, that's it, I'm done. So even if I find one later, say like this board, right? Say if I find one later that like has the box in perfect shape, everything's just perfect about it, I won't get it again because I already have this, this design, and so I'll just keep going, and one of each variety, so to speak. So here's the planchette now. The face of it may possibly look backwards to you guys. It looks backwards to me anyways when I hold it up, but I can feel this. It feels like it was actually burned in, like there's actual texture here. This is not just painted on. These letters are burned in, pressed in, something there in there. And I think, yeah, you can see where some of the reflection is messing up everything I'm trying to show you. But you can see like right here, very hardly, maybe a little bit. The paint is actually chipping off, so that is actual paint, and it's glossy. So there's a layer of lacquer, or I don't know, protective clear stuff, whatever. And around here, this is all metal. Okay, all around the eyepiece, you can see the kind of yellowish reflection in there. Bronzy. I cannot get my words out very clearly tonight. Kind of bronze golden color there. I don't think it originally came with the thumbtack in there, because I know I've seen these planchettes before, and typically it's just the eyepiece. It's just solid. So if anyone knows any different, just chime in. But I think this is a default of whomever owned this prior. I don't know the history of this one. This was just a very lucky eBay win. So I, obviously, I couldn't really ask a lot of questions. The seller was just one of those people who has a mass pile of stuff that they put on eBay, so they don't know. But yeah, all of the writing here, you can see it says Baltimore, Maryland, USA, right here on the bottom. I mean, this is all burnt in and painted black. I can feel how it's indented, and like I said again, there's like that glossy coating over it. So you can see here now it says the trademark registered, let's see, U.S. patent, January 19th, 1915. 1915. So okay, I was 4 years off. The listing was actually incorrect. The listing had told me 1919, and here's the planchette, says 1915. So look at that, it's 4 years older than what I thought. So that's pretty cool. That's exciting. So this board is 101 years old. next month it'll be 102. Good find, huh? Yeah. So, let's see. U.S. design patent August 1920. Canadian, it says Canadian patent November 2nd, 1915. Made by William Fuld. Right there. So, maybe, yeah, design patent, August 1920. Okay. So, this is actually 1 year younger than I thought. Okay, so they got the U.S. patent. So this must have been released in Canada, because it says Canadian patent here, 1915. But then the U.S. patent was also 1915 in January, and then the Canadian patent was November 1915. Okay, but the design was 1920. So I'm thinking this is probably from 1920, not 1919 or 1915, because they wouldn't really put 1920 on there if this board came out before then. You know, that's like future, and we don't mess with the future. All right, then there's just some green velvet on the back. Pretty basic. I mean, this hasn't really changed much. I think those white plastic planchettes you get from Walmart now are maybe a little smaller, maybe, but relatively the same. It's great. You can see like the wood grain on the back, and the back has no glossiness, no anything, but you can kind of see on the edges how it's like the little imperfections where it is shiny in parts. I mean, it like spilled over, so that's pretty cool. It shows it was handcrafted, you know, handmade. This is not machine made. Okay, like a real human touched this and cut the wood and painted it, and yeah, if this was machine made, there's no way you would see all these like imperfections on the back that I was talking about, like the gloss overrun. No, this was not a machine. This was someone painted this by hand and probably burned these letters in by hand. So that's pretty freaking cool, right? Now, let's see what's next as I continue through this layers and layers of bubble wrap, which is so great that they took the time, because I got quite a good deal on this board, and shipping wasn't even that bad, even though, like I said, it came from Canada. So, it's good. So much packaging. Alright, this feels like a box. I bet this is going to be the Planchette box. So, now this I'm really excited for. I have never actually had any original boxing from my boards. It's either been like just the board by itself, or like the box but all taped up. Never just like as it was found, you know, thing. So, okay, so here's a piece of the box. Yes, I knew in the listing that it was ripped, so I'm not too surprised there. But isn't it nice though that I at least get this ripped off piece? So here's the full box. If I wanted to repair it, you know, I could tape this back on. It looks like it ripped off here. So if I just flip this, you know, I could. Well, that's the tab to close it. So, you know, I could, in theory, if I wanted to. But I think I'll just keep it tucked inside. It's just better that way. I don't want to add tape to it. The acidity of the tape could, you know, potentially screw up the box. So let's see here. Now it says Ouija. And it even tells you how to pronounce it. Right? Ouija. Yes, right? So trademark registered in United States and Canada. That's why I think that this was a unique, like, Canada release, that this board was not, it didn't somehow, like, make its way up to Canada, through someone in the States who owned it. I think this was distributed in Canada, and it's called an Egyptian luck board. Okay, I don't know if this exact design is considered Egyptian. I just thought it was plain old, the original Ouija design. Could be possible that this isn't the box for this board. I don't know. Do any of you know? I don't know. But I'll have to do more research on that. Because I know there are Egyptian themed boards. And it's like vertical. It has like rows of the letters and numbers instead of the typical like arch of letters and numbers. So we'll see. Let's see. William Fuld, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Patent, US and Canada. And the back, yeah, just says the same thing. Same thing. Hey, Randall Graves says, so cool, smiley face. It is. I'm pretty excited, and I haven't even gotten to the really cool part yet. Alright, box number 1. What else? More wrapping paper. Should save this stuff, I got that Etsy shop. Sell all my fun stuff on there. I can use this to repackage things. Alright. So. Okay, and this feels like this is pretty flimsy. So this is the box for the actual board. And open. That's neat. Yeah, and again, this one's also damaged. Probably why I got a good deal. Don't care. It's my first board that came with a box. So I'm willing to suffer some damage to it to have all the pieces, all the original pieces at that. Even the piece that tore off is in the Planchette box. It's really cool that somehow all these little bits and pieces, they survived. All these years, almost over 100 years. And whoever had this kept every little bit. I mean, what would you do if you saw this? That this fell off your box for a Ouija board, right? Or anything that you were collecting. You'd throw this away, wouldn't you? What are you gonna do? But whoever it was thought well enough to hold on to it. Just much appreciated for me being the collector and all. So there are more pieces inside that have dust. Alright. That was okay, so that goes, this is, I'll show you the whole box. Oh my, there's writing on the back of this box, you guys. Hold on, let me show you the front first. But there's like handwritten like pencil marks on the back. It's pretty neat. This is really dusty though. It smells weird. I don't know what that smell is. It smells like somebody's attic, which makes sense, I guess, for an antique, but it's really dusty. Oh, wow. Anyway, so here is the original box with the original artwork on it. I don't know how well you can see it as I pull it back. Get a little more background light. Okay. So that's, Ouija, wonderful talking board. And let's see, amusing, scientific, and instructive. Instructive, huh? I don't know if I would take instructions from a Ouija board. But, and then let's see, the other side says, mysterious and entertaining. Well, I'll agree with that. let's see. To obtain the original, see that the manufacturer's name, William Fuld, is printed across the bottom of each board. Factory and office, Harford Avenue and Lamont Avenue and Federal Street, because it was on the corner of a block, so it, took up 3 streets. Let's see, we have no branch factories or offices, meaning there's just one location. Yep, and it, like I said, it burned down. Kind of ironic, but okay, let's not. I tried to fold the board, and it started creaking. So you can kind of see how, I'm sorry, it's really dusty. You can kind of see how it was originally constructed. The bottom edge sort of kind of comes up a little. And you can see a little bit. You can't tell how it used to close. I think these had those like slidey tabs that went in, but looks like maybe it opened from the top based on the way it's ripped, but it is really dusty. Have I mentioned that yet? Alright. Now the back, I thought this was really cool. It's hard to make out, really, but it says, says Emily something. I cannot read this cursive, but then it says Brock. Then very hard to read what is on the back there. But there is definitely something. And then see, here's that name, Emily Owl. I'm not sure if anyone can read that. I like the end of it kind of just squishes together. So I don't know. And then let's see, this person just wrote their name all over it. Emily something something Brock something. Yeah, I don't know. But there's a couple sentences on the back here, and I just don't know what they say. I was actually looking to see if there was a date, but it looks like this person was just writing their name over and over and over again. So, I don't know. But if any of you are able to see any of this when I hold it up and actually make out what it says, let me know what you think you see. Because, I don't know. Like, I get the first name. Definitely says Emily, I think. Right? Even though this kind of looks like an R. But I think they're just bad at cursive. Because Ermily, right? I thought that's not right. Right? That's not a word. And then A-L-E, who knows? Something A-N-D, Alexander. Right? That's an X. Emily Alexander is what that says. I don't know if you guys can see that well enough to make it out. It says Emily Alexander. Alright. And this says Brock. B-R-O-C-K. Okay, so yeah, they just wrote their name all over this. So there you go. And I am getting little pieces of cardboard all over the place. So that's actually probably what's happening. It's not full of dust. It's probably, just because it's so old and from handling it. Just cardboard flakes. I mean, my desk is like, you can't see that, can you? No. But my hands are like covered in like this thin like powder, just chunks of, well, not really chunks, like powderiness of cardboard. So let me put these pieces away. Alright, now the good part. Oh, the crap is in my throat. I should have brought a drink back here. Who knew old stuff was so old? Alright, so now we are getting ready. I am getting ready. We are getting ready, whatever, to see the board. So, this is the super exciting part. Hence why I saved it for last. Should I go slow? Nah, I should just open it up like it's Christmas, right? Because it kind of is. Ugh. Now, I've seen one of these in person, so I'm not like freaking out because it's my first time holding one, but I'm kind of freaking out because it's in my house. So here it is. And there's a ton of goodness on the back that I will get to. So you can see the angled corners, not rounded. Okay, now that one that I told you about from 1972 that, you know, got from the antique shop in Salem and, you know, was in the barn and whatnot. That does have rounded edges, but that was just paper mounted to wood and not nearly this thick. Look how thick this is. This is a solid, you know, piece of wood. This is like no joke right here. It's a good sized board. Surprisingly though, it is not very heavy. It almost sounds hollow. You know, like if you knock on it. But yeah, this is the masterpiece that I have been searching for probably about 20 years of my life. So, and it's got the red stamp made by William Fuld, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Red stamp of authenticity. Remember the box said, you know, to guarantee, you know, you have an authentic board. Look for that stamp. So there we go. On the back, there's a little damage to this corner, but no biggie. So Gigi, you want to know what's on the back? Yeah, I was kind of dragging that part out for fun, but the back says, to obtain the original, genuine Ouija board and get best results. Right? And then it has a whole list of directions. And these, those weren't carved in or anything like it was on the Planchette. These are just stamped on. I don't know, in the light, no, I take that back. When they shine in the light, they are indented. So maybe these were pressed in, you know. And it says, William Fuld, inventor and manufacturer, games, parlor, pool tables, and collapsible kites. Did not know he also made kites. This is the mystifying oracle in quotation marks, talking board, etc. So those are listed all the things that he made. And it says, so I think now we've seen, we've seen Ouija on here, right? Then the back of this says mystifying oracle, talking board, and then we had one other name, right? The Egyptian luck board, right? Which is on this box. So we got 4 different names for this particular board, just on the board and its packaging itself. So even William Fuld himself didn't know exactly what he wanted this one to be called, I suppose. I just call it the original. But I have seen other ones that have this same design up here. But instead it says Mystifying Oracle instead of, you know, trademark Ouija, or it says Mystifying Oracle, the original talking board, stamped underneath. So I've seen it worded a couple different ways. Gigi says, so excited for you. Yeah, thanks. This one is never getting played. Like, this is gonna get wrapped back up and go up in my box of stuff. Eventually it will go in a shadow box one day. Hopefully sooner than later, but you know, shadow boxes are a big deal. You gotta do them just right. So, let's see. What do the directions say? Oh, well, of course, in big old letters, it says, see that the name, William Fuld, Baltimore, Maryland, is printed across the bottom of each board. And again, we have no branch factories or offices. So let's see, the directions say, place the board upon the laps of 2 persons, lady and gentleman preferred, with the small table upon the board. So I suppose the planchette is being referred to as the small table. Maybe I should start saying small table instead of planchette, even though everybody says planchette. Well, and then it says, place the fingers lightly but firmly, without pressure upon the table, so as to allow it to move easily and freely in from 1 to... in? It does say in. Yeah, in from 1 to 5 minutes. Oh, okay, it's a period, and then grammar mess up. So it should just say from 1 to 5 minutes. The table will M-M-E-N-E-E will commence. The C and the O are kind of like, you see that? They're kind of like, excuse the glare, but you see that? I don't know if that helps it. No, that's horrible. But yeah, they're kind of like blotted out. Anyway, will commence to move at first slowly, then faster, and will then be able to talk or answer questions, which it will do rapidly by touching the printed words or the letters necessary to form words and sentences with the foreleg or pointer. Foreleg. As in the top, the point, you know, the point. Answers, etc., letters, wait, I read that line. Answers, etc., may also be readily observed through the glass opening, which is actually just plastic. Second step, even though the first step does not say first. Now we go to second. Care should be taken that one person only should ask questions at a time. This grammar is horrible. I wonder if this is just the Canadian version that's written poorly, or if they're all like that. If anyone has an original Baltimore board from America instead of the Canadian, apparently, let me know if your grammar is incorrect as well, because this is hilarious. Surprising, kind of, too. So, care should be taken that one person only should ask questions at a time, so as to avoid confusion, and the question should be put plainly and accurately. Third step, to obtain the best results, it is important that the persons present should concentrate their minds upon the matter in question and avoid other topics. Have no one? Yeah, the O's are totally gone there. Have no one at the table who will not sit seriously and respectfully. And if you use it in a frivolous spirit, asking ridiculous questions, laughing over it, you naturally get undeveloped influences around you. That's a good way of saying you're going to stir up some badness that you just don't want to stir up. Fourth step. The Ouija, Does it matter? I guess it does. It tells you how to pronounce it on here somewhere. Alright, the Ouija is a great mystery, and we do not claim, rather, for some reason there's an S. We do not claim to give exact directions for its management. Neither do we claim that at all times and under all circumstances it will work equally well. But we do claim and guarantee that with reasonable patience and judgment, it will more than satisfy your greatest expectation. Ooh, you can only expect one thing, because it can only do one. Alright, fifth step and last. The board should be kept smooth and free from dust. Well, it's full of dust right now, as you've heard me complaining and coughing about, earlier in this. So we'll have to work on that. And moisture. So it should be free from dust and moisture, as all depends upon the ease with which the feet of the table can glide over the surface of the board. Rubbing with a dry silk handkerchief. Who talks about handkerchiefs anymore, let alone anything being silk? I love this, it's so old. Just before using is advised. So, as long as you have a dry silk handkerchief, don't use anything else, apparently. I feel like nowadays it would be like lint-free rag or something. So that's it. You can see all the grain on the wood and good stuff. Now on the front, I don't notice that these aren't the letters and border and stuff. That's not like burned in or pressed in like the writing on the back or on the planchette or anything. But yeah, it's a good sized board. It's wider, I think, than maybe. Yeah, I seems like it anyway. I think like this part of the board, like if you cut that off here, then that from corner to corner, I think that's about the width of most boards nowadays. But yeah, it's short. I mean, it's not short, but it's more narrow and longer. The boards, this is more of a rectangle is what I'm getting at, really. Like the Parker Brothers boards, they're more of a square. It's still a sort of barely a rectangle, just by a couple inches. But okay, so that is the great and mighty unboxing event. And those of you who may not have gotten in the beginning, here is the planchette again, just one last time. And the planchette box. Egyptian luck board, again, that is really getting me. So if anyone knows, Egyptian luck board, is that another name for the original William Fuld board? I don't know. I'm going to Google. So, and again, here is the original box, like board box. And on the back, we figured out this lovely pencil writing here. Says Emily Alexander and Brock, and then variations of EA, EBA throughout. Maybe it's her middle name may have been Alexander and her last name Brock. Who knows? But yeah, I like that name, Brock. Pretty ironic. Not that you know why, but I do. So, and I'm on Twitter, Facebook, obviously, because you're watching this on Facebook, and yeah, that's about the only places I exist. So, thanks for watching, and feel free, leave your comments, share this, do whatever. All right. Good night, guys.